You see, I grew up in America. I grew up in the land where phrases like, I have a dream, meant something. I grew up where I believed that freedom existed, that that's what I was fighting for. I believed that the Statue of Liberty was a symbol of our liberty, that we all came from all over the world because we didn't want to live underneath the monarchy, that our founding fathers made America the land of the free and the land of the brave. I don't care what you say to me. I don't care if there's a shadow government or there's people out there that's trying to take it away from us. I don't care about that, because I believe that because we believe it, we can do something about it. We grew up different. I think something happened with the Federal Reserves. I think the bankers are in on it. And this is what I'm going to give a shout out to my girls out there. If he works for Goldman Sachs, Lehman Brothers, or Bank of America, do not have sex with him. Yeah, that's right. We can take our power back. We've got the power. Do you know that there have been acts of terrorism for the promise of 72 virgins? How does that work? Why would somebody do something like that just because they want to have virgins? And this is the afterlife. What happens when that person's done all those 72 virgins? Then you just have 72 women calling you up going, why haven't you called me? I'm pregnant. What do you mean it's not yours? You're the only one. We can take our power back. We can fight the corporations. We can make our own market. We can stop driving cars that have oil in it. We can stop fracking. We can stop being ruled by a monarchy. This is America, damn it, and I'm taking it back. Welcome to the Freedom of Joyce show on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. We are so happy to be here today. This is the first show, and the song that you just heard was done by my guest, who is, we just recorded it last night. We are literally in the studio we're in Washington. I don't think we need to tell exactly where we're at.
GPS 0.25.
Yeah, but we were up all night and working it. And I want to give a shout out to Caterpillar Face, who's also live streaming this as well on the Freedom of Joyce channel on Ustream, so that we have we're documenting everything here today. Who produced the music on that? This is an original song. I'm Terry Joyce, your host, and that's my voiceover. We called it one take because ironically we did it in one take, right? Both of us. So I want to welcome to the show Travis John from .com Records, the chief executive officer. Is that how it goes?
Yes, it sounds so professional. Yes, yes. Thank you for having me. I'm so amazed to be here again this morning.
Yeah. We haven't even slept that much. We were so stoked on that song.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the song was amazing. Shouts out to Caterpillar Face and Terry Joyce. And that's me in the background, so you can tune it out if you have to. But,
yeah, we freestyled that.
Yeah, that was a freestyle.
That was a freestyle.
No written.
No written. Yeah, that was a freestyle on my part too. Except there was a couple pieces in there.
Well, we can't write it down because Illuminati might have saw it, so they didn't see that one coming. So we can't be writing that stuff down.
Right. Well, the reason why that Travis is my first guest is one of the things that I want to explore on the show is there are so many artists out there now that are awakened to what is really going on in the world. And, we want to put our music and our words and, our comedy into creating awareness and to, again, the title of the show is Freedom of Joyce. And that title means something to me because I think freedom is a concern for everyone at right in this time. And what does that mean to ourselves personally and collectively, and culturally, and being that this is America. We don't you think, Travis, that we kind of grew up believing that we were free?
Yes, definitely thought I was free till I started paying taxes and paying for everything I did. But now I'm on the Freedom of Joy show, so I feel a little freer, if that's a word. Last night I felt really free.
Yeah, we were.
When we were freestyling, but
Yeah.
we definitely grew up, especially the history books teaching us why we were free, and shouts out to the military that's out fighting for a belief that they believe in, and hopefully keeping us safe for certain reasons and this and that. Don't fight for that oil, you know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But freedom is something that's huge to me, and that's another reason why I'm happy to be here.
That's great. And one of the things that I wanted to go into a little bit of your story on how did you get involved in the music business? And because you were in the corporate world. I mean, didn't you have weren't you you're not just chief executive, executive like he's doing a will or something.
Maybe after this show, we got you.
No, not yet. We're not big enough for that yet.
Oh, damn it.
So, yeah, I mean, what kind of work did you do before you went into the
Well, I started out. I went to high school. They told me I was smart, but I never went to school because I had to do what I had to do. But I went into sales when I was 18 and traveled the United States, which was a blessing because I got to meet a lot of people around the United States. And so I just worked my way up through the wheel and got to selling advertising, selling corporate stuff, where it's where you have a CEO and a CFO and COO and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, I didn't know it broke down.
I'm
so out of it.
Oh, it breaks down. Oh, yeah.
CFO,
There is a chain of command. Yes.
E-I-E-I-O.
E-I-E-I-O. And my last name is, well, we won't say. Well, yeah. So I worked that every day, and yeah, I made good money, and I supposedly was successful in a lot of people's eyes. But it's a rat race. You get stuck in that rat race. The everyday, everything. Who's got the new iPhone? Who's got this? Who's doing that? And
yeah, I mean, do you really care who has a new iPhone?
No, I sold my iPhone. Actually, I got a PlayStation 3 out of it.
We have droids.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Mine might go off, droid.
Me too. Yeah, I think when I hear his cell phone going off, I go, "Oh, someone's coming." I go, "Wait, he's got a droid too."
But that's how I felt in corporate America, is that I was a droid. Even though I was in the top 5% of sales. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, you were good at your job.
Yeah, I was very good at my job. I made very good money. I gave that up to live my dream. I wanted to show my kids and my family and my friends that, never give up on yourself. To pursue what you believe can happen. A hard part is like, oh, you own a record label? Like, how many times I hear that? I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do my own music. I do what I want to do in life. And shouts out to Hawaiian Vapor. That's my family's business. And the great thing about that is I'm still not working the corporate world when it comes to that, because we're helping people get off smoking cigarettes. And I smoked cigarettes for many, many years, and my family and my kids are so happy that I'm not smoking cigarettes. So, it's a dream come true already for me. No matter if this went to, if I was next to Miley Cyrus while she stuck her tongue out. You know what I mean? It wouldn't matter. From this point, I'm already successful because I'm doing what I want to do, and I'm sustaining and helping my family and all that. So it's really worked out, and you can live your dream. Martin Luther wasn't lying. You know what I mean? We
Right.
can all come together, and we can all sit in the middle of the bus. We might not be able to sit in the front. We can sit in the middle together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we could definitely. Well, I don't know about you, but I kind of like the front of the bus. But middle's good too.
Yeah.
Sometimes middle works.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to. I mean, I don't know exactly what it's like to work a corporate job per se, at all. I mean, I've never been the CEO of anything. Maybe someday I'll get to like the CEO ability, or
You're the CEO of yourself.
I'm the CEO of my own sovereignty. Is what it's what's important. But I've worked as a comedian all my for many years, so many years that I'm not even going to let people know how long it is.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say how long I
right,
smoked
right,
for.
right, yeah. Because the more you talk about how you've done something, the older you appear to be. Like, what? And then they get all freaked out about whatever. But I I never really went into a career per se that most people say, well, this is, hey, if you're a doctor, or not even a doctor really. I mean, if you are, this corporate person or that person, or maybe you work for like a corrupt company like Coca-Cola, or, you've got your branding some sort of Monsanto food, or, I mean, just think about the different, I mean, the people that are actually making money out there, the companies that they're doing it for or with, the oil companies, gas stations, it's half the time, like, you go to you go for customer service anywhere, and sometimes I feel frustrated. I go, God, does this person care about anything? Or, I'm a human being. Why don't you give me eye contact? Or they'll be talking on the phone while they're giving you change. And I think, like, a lot of that happens because we don't care anymore. We realize that we're in a system. We're barely making any money. We're barely paying our rent. Most people, it was funny. Sometimes, like, I use an EBT card sometimes. I'm just going to go ahead and admit it, because I am at a point that things have been a struggle. When you decide that you want to contribute in a creative way, or you want to be an activist. I mean, activists aren't rich, man. We're wearing thrift clothes store, thrift store,
$20 in my pocket.
Because we're not living in the system. We're working on $20 in our pocket. You're better than me, Okay.
No, that's the Macklemore song. I'm repping Northwest out here.
Oh, okay.
Kurt Cobain.
Kurt Cobain. Yeah, we are in the Northwest. And let's talk about that in a moment, a little bit about Kurt Cobain, because sometimes I feel that it's funny. Like, I'm one of those people that I didn't grow. I mean, I was a nerd, kind of. Like, that's a surprise. and I listened to show tunes because I was doing musicals and stuff like that. So, like, if I knew, like, all the lyrics of Cabaret, and I listened to Evita when I fell asleep at night, and the whole rock, like, rock music or any type of other thing. I was just, like, I saturated myself in, like, I'm basically a gay man in a woman's body.
Are you talking about Evita, like Scarface's girlfriend?
Evita,
Evita.
Yeah, Evita. Yeah.
Give it to Quello. She love you in the morning.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
you're
talking
I'm talking about Scar. Yeah.
A new Argentina.
I'm talking about Scarface's girlfriend.
Oh,
the one
okay.
he takes from Frank.
Oh, okay. Well, we have two different versions of it. Like,
Evita.
I guess it's kind of like Evita. I'm talking about, like, Patti LuPone, and won a Tony Award. That's all right. But when I heard Nirvana, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was my ex-husband had a Nirvana tape in the car when I was driving on the road, and I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like it was almost like I went, this is real music. This isn't. Because I think sometimes, like, the music industry has, like, the saturated, even with their rock music. I mean, they, like, like, before Nirvana came out, I think, was releasing, like, glam the glam rock bands with the, the big hair and everything like that. And you're like, the industry, like, cranks out, like, this repetitive
rap.
Yeah. And
like
so,
rap.
and then, but, Nirvana was like, entertain us, we're never going to be as rich as our parents.
Smells like Teen Spirit up in
like
here.
Teen Spirit. The albino and the mosquito,
Yeah.
So, what do you think that is, Travis? Do you think there's something up in this area that people are more in tune with this, like, is it the trees that's seeping into their being, or what's going on?
I believe so. The rain drives you insane. But, it is a beautiful place to, I grew up here. I grew up in Hawaii as well, so I can't really complain. But, the Northwest, like Seattle is, well, it was the capital of suicide. I don't know if it still is, but it was the capital of suicide in the United States. And especially back then, like when Kurt Cobain, and, unfortunately, he supposedly did kill himself. That's a whole other subject.
Yeah, it's a whole other subject.
But, shotgun love to my veins, you know what I mean? But, I was a huge fan of Kurt Cobain just because he did what he did. It's even like Macklemore today. That's kind of what ties into why I started my own record label, is because when you start your own record label and you're doing independently, once you're known enough, the industry, it doesn't matter. You don't have to follow their rules if they have to recognize you. You know what I mean? Because they're about money, and that's what it's about. So if you already have a million people, following you, of course they want a piece of that pie, because they know that nowadays with the internet and printing your own CDs and getting your own copyrights and getting your own LLC and things like that you can do it yourself. Back in the day it was like, we'll give you 1% and that's what you get. We'll give you a 200,000, give you a chain around your neck, and then you sell your soul and you're good. We don't have to do that anymore. So, I think the Northwest also is, we're all about green and the trees. I think the trees do help because it helps you breathe, right? So.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess they're bringing, maybe we have extra oxygen happening up here.
Sometimes it doesn't always work, but yeah.
Well, sometimes it doesn't work. So, no, I want to ask you, I want to get back to a little bit about your own individual story. So, it's funny, this morning, when I actually spent the night here, but it's not what it sounds like, everybody. So it's one of those things that when you're working, I mean, like the way this place, like Travis's house is like there's a studio in the back, and a lot of these new and upcoming artists kind of just hang out here, and everybody just like makes music until the wee hours of the morning, like we did last night.
And then my mom makes coffee.
And then his mom makes coffee. So we want to give a shout out to Karen for making coffee this morning. But I got a little bit of a chance to talk to her, and she goes, "Oh, this has always been Travis's dream." And, he always wanted to be like Elvis since he was a little boy. Since he was 5 years old, he wanted to be in this business. And so where was it that you said, "Hey, I'm not going to do these sales jobs, even though like I'm making all this money, I have all this security, I'm driving the fancy car, I've got the iPhone, I can get whatever iPhone I want. I have everything that I'm supposed to think is part of the American way, the dream, which it is not really reality. It's what we've been socially engineered to believe it is." So when did you make that transition into having your own freedom?
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special, 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light that makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Well, and you get trapped in that rat race. It wasn't bad. I was, traveling between Oahu and Maui, and, everything was paid for and all that. So it was good, but I had 5 deaths in my family. My dad passed away with cancer, rest in peace, and I had to come back I was actually in California at the time, and I came back and took care of him, and so I went back to Hawaii because that's where my son lives, and I have half custody. But it's like when you live on the mainland, they live in Hawaii. It's flights and Christmas and spring break and that kind of stuff. So I went back to Hawaii, and I'm glad I did because it's a very spiritual place. But I never really got to mourn my dad because my grandpa died, and then my nephew Stephen buried, his dad, rest in peace, and then my brother's dad and all this, and so I kind of had to be strong for my family. So I didn't really get a chance to mourn my dad, and it really hit me hard because I was in Hawaii, and you're working, you're in a relationship, you're doing this, you're doing that, and music is what saved my life. To make a long story short, I got an iPad, and I didn't even want the iPad. My sister had a job and she wanted the newer iPad. I'm like, whatever, let me buy this iPad from you so you can get the newer iPad. And I started off in GarageBand. I just made a beat. And I was so excited because my friends rapped, and I was just like, you're not that good. I'm better. And, I started writing poetry at that point, and it really changed my life. It made me feel, shouts out to my friends. I'm just giving you a hard time, but yeah, I'm better. But anyway, so it just really changed my life because I could actually mourn my dad through my own way, and that's really where it started. I don't know if you had to go to commercial.
Not quite yet.
Oh, okay,
we're
I saw you looking at the clock. I went, oh. I thought that was a hurried up, Travis. So
no, God, I am kind of watching the clock a little bit because I am there's always that time the time thing that happens. Which again, there's the theory that time doesn't really exist. So why are we obsessed with what the time was? But I think this be my first show on Revolution Radio. I'm pretty sure there's going to be this little beep 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 at the half an hour mark.
I'll always be your guinea pig.
It's gonna. I know. Hey, it's always good when someone volunteers to be your guinea pig. But it's gonna beep, and then we're gonna take a little bit of a break. We don't have commercials here on Revolution Radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at freedomslips.com. No, we don't, because this is actually supported by donations. So it is commercial free. So I do want to give a shout out to anybody who's listening right now that Revolution Radio is supported by your donation. This is how we give all this wonderful information and programming to you, and we're soon to be on iHeartRadio as well. Hit that, go see us on the website and make sure that you support us and keep us on the airwaves. So I just wanted to get that out there.
Is there a phone number for
and look at me,
donations?
I have to even put, like, I have cheater glasses, so, sometimes I have to go, oh, what time is it really? Okay, now I can see the 2 and a 3. All right. So...
I was gonna have my American Idol moment. Like, dial this number and vote for number 3 for donations. Thank you for giving donations. Vote for Travis at 1-888. I don't know the number.
Vote for Travis at 1-888.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the
If you give lots of donations today, that means they love me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give you a donation.
Oh, hey! Are we on commercial break?
No, we're not on commercial break. Okay, so the music was first an expression or an outlet to release your own.
Yeah,
pain that you had
it wasn't
inside
about
yourself.
it wasn't about what it is now. I mean, that's how it grows. Music is so powerful. I mean, I've been in music my whole life. I actually danced. Oh yes, Mike's Hard Lemonade. Shout out to you. You should definitely donate. So strawberry lemonade, really good. But I dance. I actually had an opportunity to I do hip hop dance.
Uh-huh.
I'm not like a stripper.
Yeah.
Only on the weekends.
Only,
Did you get that?
only to support the .com records.
Yeah.
Travis Moonlights as a stripper.
Yeah, the
in
thongs will be on sale soon.
in Longview.
Kelso, but I go to Longview sometimes. But yeah, so I had an opportunity to dance on MTV. Remember the show MTV Grind?
Yeah.
Remember that back in the day?
You know what? I do remember that back
I
in
guess
the
I'm
day.
showing my age too, but
Yeah.
here's the thing.
That's not that age.
Here's the thing.
It's still like when you talk about before MTV.
Yeah,
then,
when it's
or,
like,
I
I
remember
want my MTV.
Yeah. Then you're really showing your age. You're like.
When there was still like actual videos on MTV.
Yeah.
So
we won't talk about that.
yeah.
Time period. I don't
So,
even know what that's all about.
I don't either.
Really.
I wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
So what had happened was, I had an opportunity to go, but I had kids, and I had to work the corporate world because that's what you got to do, because you got to pay child support, you got to write a check, at least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not that I didn't want to be there, but as a traveling salesman.
And that's why he's stripping, because he has to pay child support. No.
So .com. I was traveling doing sales, and the last time I was in Pendleton. You ever been to Pendleton?
I have been to Pendleton.
I think we should go there.
I
don't
think
know
we
why.
should too.
Some
Yeah.
roundup.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I met the dentist to the stars, and she was going to the MTV Awards and was like, "Do you want to go with me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I can't because I'm in corporate America and I have to be at work tomorrow." So that really sucked. So yeah, that was my dream, to dance, and then then I started singing karaoke. Right? Shout out to Steve and Lorraine in Hawaii at Turtle Bay. They were like, "You're really good. You should I'm like, whatever. It's karaoke. Like, settle down." You know what I mean?
I do karaoke.
Yeah. Mine turned into a music career though. That's like me saying I do stand up. Let's settle down here. So no, I'm kidding. I heard you sing. You're very
No, you
you're
haven't
very
heard me
beautiful
sing.
singer.
You really haven't heard me sing.
Well, for the show purposes, I have.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I did that, and I used to love to do it, but I used to work my corporate job and then go have fun at night, and and it all ended up being this, and I'm very thankful. But I started out dancing, but music has been my mom's right. I do love Elvis, Michael Jackson. Those are big influences in what I do, and I like to think that not only myself but my record label is more diverse and not just hip hop or rap. It's more different minds expressing themselves, which I think is very important.
Yeah, I want to go into a little bit of that today about the rap or hip hop and the whole genre and what it kind of like represents culturally. Sometimes I feel like with working with you and meeting these the new artists and because we actually we met We met through a friend of ours named Kevin Korn from
Shouts
Hardcore.
out.
Shout out to Kevin Korn of
Big-
Hardcore
big
Entertainment.
Kevin Korn.
Yeah, the big Kevin Korn. Kevin called me up in November at some point and said, Terry, I got this great show you're gonna be part of, and these guys are from Hawaii and I'm from Hawaii, and they're .com records, and this is gonna be off the chain. And wait, I don't know if you said off the chain.
Did you say off the chain?
Yeah, I don't think he said that. I mean, he said something kind of like that. And then he was like, it's gonna be December 5th, and it's gonna have Wu-Tang, like Wu-Tang Clan, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like I honestly, like I was like, I had never heard of Wu-Tang before.
Yeah, new
like,
generation Wu-Tang.
yeah.
Shouts out to TV.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Ducey. Shouts out to Murdoch.
But when I started listening and getting exposed to like who Wu-Tang was, and what they were saying, and I was like, man, these guys are like saying it. I mean, you look at a lot of like it was a little bit like Tupac. I mean, Tupac was saying some truth.
Yeah.
In his lyrics, so much that some people feel that he was actually taken out. By what we're gonna say is the shadow government, and we are gonna go down the rabbit hole here
Illuminati.
in the moment about how we feel that what really is going on with the music business or entertainment business. Does like somebody I watched somebody else do a show about like the word Illuminati, and they go, oh, the minute you mention that word, it's like a buzzword that people either get turned off about, or they have like this, like, oh, you're one of those like conspiracy people, saying like, what's wrong with you? Did you put your tinfoil hat on? Like, what are you looking at, Terry? Like, are you like the minute I mentioned anything on any show about, hey, I think there's something wrong happening in the world, and there might be a 1%, they're like, oh, you what's happened to you? But as you start to like peel the onion, and every onion of the veil, you see where a certain manipulation has happened in the entertainment industry. And just think about
it makes you cry, just like the onion.
Well, it does make you cry. I mean, it's not just like it's not just like with hip hop, but if you even go back to let's go back to John Lennon. I mean, let's go back to the civil rights movements that happened in the '60s, and the artists and the entertainers that were doing songs that people would become anthems, and Bob Dylan and all them cats. But I think I am noticing that we are at the half an hour mark, and we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back with more Freedom of Joyce. I don't know. Maybe we're not going to take a break. Maybe we're still here.
Make me off a piece of that.
Screw it. It doesn't matter. We'll just keep going. It will. We don't need to take a break.
No.
We've got this down. Oh, here we go. I'm getting a message here from Studio A at Revolution Radio Live Connect on the Skype. Do you want breaks on the half? Yes. Yes, sure. So
hey.
He says, okay.
Hey, Studio A. How are you?
All right. So. Do you want to do it now, or do you want to, or we can keep going until the next half if you want? Well, oh, there we go. We'll be right back.
Nice.
More Freedom of Joyce on Revolution Radio at freeslips.com. Again, we are listener supported, so please do give us a donation. Keep us on the airwaves. Keep all this really good energy and information out there to you. And I am actually really in studio. Sometimes I'm just, in front of my computer, staring into space against a wall with my cat wanting to come on my lap in some dark in my bedroom with an unmade bed in the background. But today I'm actually in a studio here in Washington with the CEO of .com Records, and
we did start out with playing the song that we created last night that we freestyled called One Take, which is the theme song here on for Freedom of Joyce, and I just want to give you guys a special thank you again for creating it. We're also releasing it on the .com record label, and see where it goes. And it's going to be the theme song for my one-woman show, Freedom of Joyce, which will go coincide with being here on Revolution Radio. So I just wanted some branding and an opportunity to do something fun. So I want to thank you for that. And so you were telling us about before the break on how the starting to write and do rap and do music about some of the losses and hardships that you had in your life, and so, okay. So I just got a little note from Studio A that we also have, we will also have video capability here at Revolution Radio, which is really cool. So, this is Hawk. Hi, Hawk.
What's up, Hawk? Fly like an eagle.
Fly like an eagle. But Travis, so you got into doing music. I happen to go a little bit talking about Tupac and some of the other hip hop artists that maybe have been a voice of the generation, and it isn't really part of the the chain, what do you call it? The chain that exists in music.
Well, speaking of Tupac, that's if I could only listen to one hip hop artist my whole life, it would be Tupac. And the reason for that is he went through a lot of trials and tribulations himself. He actually has an amazing story, and if you don't know it, you should look it up. He went from in the performing arts, to gangster rap, which wasn't really him. It was more the industry making him be that, and you can take your own spin on it. This is just my own opinion, but, he was a poet, and that's something that I was as a kid. My mom still has my poetry. My mom, thank God, is one of those people that keeps everything you do, because I'm not very
seem to get enough information right now about Disney kids and the military industrial complex, and
Right.
how and let's even even go even farther. You read about how there's MK Ultra mind control going on with some of these kids, and
yeah, they said Jay-Z did that to Beyonce because she's way too hot for him. But just kidding, Jay-Z. Shouts out to Jay-Z. I'm just saying. But yeah, I understand exactly what you mean, and it's when things, it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. When you hear that so many times, it's like deja vu. Like it's too much, and when looking into that, that's how I started out, with the all these conspiracy theorists, and all this kind of stuff, and now you got Russell Brand talking out, and Joe Rogan's been talking about it for years, and what was the guy that you wanted? We were gonna have on the music, Carl. What's his name?
George Carlin.
George Carlin. He was talking about that too. All these people have been talking about it, but they sometimes it goes too crazy, so people think it's too much. But you know what I mean? It's really hard to get into the music industry, to be famous. That's what people need to understand. Is like you can still live your dream and not be Brad Pitt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like my brother's been in Hollywood. Shout out to Jeff Hamilton. That's my brother. You know what I'm saying? But he's been in Hollywood for 20-something years, and he's been next to Nicolas Cage, next to all these big-time actors,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, did he make it totally? No. But
Well, he's not dead yet.
no, he's not. And he's
Yeah.
very handsome, by the way.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, Call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
We got license, yeah.
Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
I mean,
But
yeah.
you know, he's my brother. But so, you know, but now he's at
My
USC.
brother's handsome too.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah.
Well, tell my shouts out to her brother.
My brother. Shout out to Jason Olguin.
Jason, what's cracking? So, but now my brother's at USC going to school for business. You know what I mean? And he owned Gonzo Brothers. He owned all this really cool stuff. I really look up to my brother because he's done so much. You know what I mean? In Hollywood, I got to be a stunt zombie. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just a little side note.
Wow, stunt zombie.
Yeah, check my Facebook. So yeah, that's a total Facebook picture.
Right.
And so, but you know, like he still got to live his dream per se, but you know, he didn't become, you know, a huge actor or whatever.
I was a body double for Amityville Horror Part 6.
I thought you were gonna say Angelina Jolie.
You know, I wish. I wish I could boast that
You
one.
said
Amityville Horror Part 6. Yeah, there's a scene. It's kind of low budget.
There's a part 6.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I thought. And I was with this extra casting agency, and they called me and they go, "Oh, you're kind of like the size of the actress, and we need you to put her clothes on." You know, like they had a second outfit that was like the same. That was when I was really skinny. I was really skinny then. I'm really skinny. Not that I'm like big now, but I mean I was like, I was like skinny then. You know, because like they have the actresses, you know, that are out there. God, I thought we almost lost connection. Our internet got a little slow there. There's, you know, the thing about Hollywood is that, you know, like they go, "Oh, how much do you weigh?" "I'm 120 pounds. "Oh, you're overweight." I'm like, what's wrong with you? I'm a normal woman, you know. But they want you to be like real thin, so I jumped on that bandwagon for a while. Anyway,
That's
so
Victoria's Secret.
yeah, and so I you know, I got into her pants. I mean, well, not into her pants per se.
It's Hollywood.
There was a mistake.
It's Hollywood. There was some pants getting into.
I fit her small pants. And but there's this scene where apparently she gets burned. So I have my head all wrapped in gauze, and I was on the gurney, and they're transporting me into the ambulance. And that was me. It's me in the bed, like pretending to be her. And they didn't even see my outfit. I had gauze on. They had the shoes. They might have seen the shoes. I don't even think they saw the
Don't you
shoes.
love how you're in
Why
makeup?
Why would I even have to wear her clothes when
Yes.
I'm like wrapped up in a sheet? I don't get it. No makeup, And the crew was kind of funny because they'd go, I'd have my gauze on, and then they'd push me into the van, and then one of the guys in the crew go, "Can you see me? Can you see me through the gauze?" Like, yeah, I see you.
I know gauze too. It's not very funny.
Yeah, but so shout out to Hollywood and all those evil people.
Yeah.
No.
We're coming.
No. Actually, I live in Hollywood. I did the whole Hollywood thing myself. And yeah, not to be like trite.
Get it, girl.
But I'm glad I got away from it for a while. I mean, that one of the reasons why I moved to the Northwest was because I'm like, there was just so many billboards, and there's so many. You realize that it's part of the whole system. It's part of the whole. If I just get to this rung, and if I just get this thing, and it's famous, and this and that, and God, I hope this agent likes me, and like, none of this is real. None of this is like being a real artist. None of this is really making real music, and really being able to be free. And with the internet, and realizing that you don't have to, you can create and produce it. Hey, we did something last night, and now it's on here. It's on Revolution
and I
Radio.
was faded.
Yeah, you were pretty faded last night. But we did it, and this is where we're at now. Now it's funny, like you said, they're looking for people eyes to happen to entertainers on the internet, and they go, hey, want to come over here?
Break on through to the other side.
Yeah, and play our game, and so I want to talk. What's going to happen when they go, hey, here, I'm the Dark Master. Are you wanting to sign on this dotted deal? And well, if we want you, then we're looking for this kind of compromise. Do you ever see being put into, what if you're put into that position? Have you thought about what you're gonna do in that situation?
I definitely have, and that's why I started my own record label. And I do love Anakin Skywalker. Shouts out to Darth Vader. But I that's why I started my own record label, was because I don't have to do that. So like, if they come to me, it's more of a collaboration. It's not. I don't have to sign. I already own my own record label. I don't need to sign yours. You know what I mean? So when they come to .com Records, it'll be like, let's just let's call it James Dean Records. Say they're the biggest record label, and they recognize that we're doing something really amazing, and they want to make money off it, because that's really what they care about, So they're going to come to me and be like, hey, we want this amount, and I'll be like, why do I need to give you that amount? Because I'm already doing this and that, and then that's where the negotiations come in. But the difference is that what happens to young artists and people that don't understand, or comedians or anybody, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They come to you with their big chain on and their money flashing and all that, and they're like, hey, we'll give you this and that. And, because artists are artists, and they just want their word to be heard, or their music or their art or whatever it is, they're going to go ahead and sign that deal because they think it's the best thing for them, And it happens in the NFL, NBA, all that kind of stuff. It's just what they do. But see, when you own yourself, you don't have to do that, because they have to collaborate with .com Records. So it won't be like, it'll be James Dean Records and .com Records presents. It won't be James Dean Records signed Travis. You know what I mean? And that's what I do for my artists, my producers, and all that, because I'm the voice for them. I'm one of those type of people that I don't really care what people think about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I care about is that people see that I do what I say. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has, good days and bad days and all that kind of things, but I like to be the voice of the people. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up, listening to JFK, RFK, MLK, all that. You know what I'm saying? It all means something to me that, and the world has changed. Like Michael Jackson, he changed the world. And unfortunately, here in America, like, you know, they talked about he was a child molester and he was this and that, but in every other country, he's a god. You know what I mean? And that's why he didn't live in America for 20 years, because he said the difference is that they care only about money and what they can do you for, and you know what I mean, what they can take from you. And by the time he was gone, he owned 50% of Sony Records. You know, and he spoke out, and then all of a sudden he's gone. You know, that's a whole other subject.
Yeah, I mean, that is and again, let's talk about Michael Jackson a little bit, because you know, it's interesting when his trial was going on with the doctor. You know, when the doctor
Murray.
Yeah, it was happening at the in Los Angeles at City Hall at the same time. Occupy was happening, and they were occupying the space.
The smoke,
yeah.
The smoke and mirrors.
The smoke and mirrors, yeah. So I did Occupy, like, cover up the Michael Jackson trial in some ways, because
I think it might be the other way around.
Well, I mean, because I was there. I mean, I occupied.
But don't
in
you
Los
think
Angeles.
that maybe the Michael Jackson trial smoked and mirrored over the Occupy movement?
I never thought of it
Because
that way.
what do you think is really bigger for the people? Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But the Occupy movement would be more for the people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like across the board. You know what I'm saying? So if they smoke and mirrored that with the Michael Jackson trials, like they did when he had to go to court for molestation, which was during the times of, when we're over in Iraq and all that, that's what they do all the time. You know, if you watch news in other countries, you really get our news.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
And that's what's sad to me is like I have my nephew, shouts out to Tanner. He was a gunner in the Marines, you know what I mean? And now he's a drill sergeant, and I love him to death. He's like mini me, you know what I mean? And I give such big shout outs to the men and women who serve our country, but at the same time I've met a lot of men and women that serve our country that when I talk to them about certain things, they tell me, wow, yeah, that's real. How do you know that? You know what I mean? Things like that, and it's hard because I love America. I love America. I love that we can talk on Revolution Radio. Shouts out to Revolution Radio. Thanks for having me. You know what I mean? This is amazing. But at the same time, what's hard for me to understand is, people in America, their kids won't even go out and play outside. You know what I'm saying? But in Afghanistan, they're not free. But, they're like, oh, well, there was kids playing outside and one of their legs got blown off by a bomb. Or a mine, in the thing. Well, whose kids are free? Their kids are outside playing with mines. Our kids won't even come outside in suburbia. To me, that's not freedom. What's freedom is, I used to play outside all the time. My mom would tell me, don't you come home. She was washing her soap. She don't want to get bothered. You know what I'm saying? Don't you come. You come home before dark when I call. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have to worry about it. I wasn't inside playing video games all day. MK Ultra in my mind on how to be better at Call of Duty. When my son came to me, who was just here for Christmas, and was like talking about he played GT5, which is that, you know what I mean? There's like, can I say pimps and hoes?
Yeah, you can say pimps and hoes.
Okay.
That's fine.
There's like pimps and hoes in the game. My son is 9 years old. I'm like, your uncle and auntie let you play that game? Like, oh no, I got the Chronic taken away. Shouts out to Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? My mom found the Chronic, and I was just getting my feelings out. You know what I'm saying? And she took it. I got it again though. But you know what I mean? Like, that's the same thing. Like, but what the point of the story was like they got these kids playing Call of Duty and all that because it builds them to be a soldier.
Yeah.
If you can run, because you know what they use in the military to run tanks and the little tanks or whatever, the spy things. You know what they use? A PlayStation controller, an Xbox controller. So what do they prompt in their minds to do?
They're I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's scary how and now you look at movies and it looks like movies copy what it looks like on a video game.
Right.
It's the same perspective and perception. So it's conditioning you to become a military soldier, and and I notice like you say and I think it's good that you say shout out to the military but at the same time, like, I feel like, well, stop the military, stop all wars, like, let's talk about, like, getting to a point where as people, we evolve into complete world peace, and the military becomes something where they're really serving the well-being of the people,
right,
as opposed to, because really, like, serving the well-being of people it's not like, doing wars that for the agenda
war's money
of the people who are in power that shouldn't be in power.
Well, that
who have Rockefeller labels that that Jay-Z. Oh, let's talk about how many rap.
Shout out to Dame Dash though.
But I mean, how many were doing like the pyramid and stuff like
Oh,
that?
well, you know.
And like the one eye thing, the
yeah.
pyramid, the one eye thing. I had to ask you what a symbol was because I noticed like you guys do like the.
I would just throw it to West Side because I'm from the West Side. Yeah,
Okay,
there's no Illuminati on that.
Yeah, but I see more than one person doing it. You're not the only person.
No,
that
West Side is that's big.
Like a lot of people do. No, that's big. So I'm doing something
Yeah, I
that's
throw
big.
it to Northwest though. You know what I'm saying? Northwest. You know what I'm saying? Kurt Cobain. I'm repping Kurt Cobain. Shotgun of love to my veins. But like, with the one eye and all that. Here's my whole thing with that.
Yeah, the one eye.
Here's the whole thing with that. You know
I
what I'm
have
saying?
a whole
Like,
other joke about the one eye. But
okay,
we won't go
like
there.
the 1%'s been run the world since there was only kings and queens and peasants.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't something that's changed. This is since the beginning of time. So it's not like, you know what I mean? Like, you got these rappers and you got these artists and whatever that they throw the one eye up hoping that they'll get a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like,
so
if your music ain't good, they still not taking you. If they can't auto-tune you, if they can't auto-tune, can I get an amen there, producer? If you can't get auto-tune, you're done. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're
we
going...
didn't do any auto-tune, did
No,
we?
we didn't auto-tune nothing.
No, yeah, that's right.
No, we're on tune,
We're
baby.
on
It is what it is, what it is. You know what I'm saying? But, the whole thing with all that is, it's like when, what is it, Kerry and Bush were running for presidency, right? And they were like, you're both part of a secret society, Skull and Bones. And like, well, it's a secret. And that's all you heard of it.
And everybody's satisfied.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question. You know what I'm
people
saying?
were okay with that.
Yeah, because...
Why was that?
Well, it's a secret
we were
society.
sleeping.
It's a secret
It's
society, so it's secret.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Freedom of Joyce show. I'm Terry Joyce. I'm your Cherry Joyce. I'm Terry Joyce. I'm Terry Joyce.
Joyce. That was good.
Hey, well, you only had 2 hours sleep. I'm Terry Joyce. I'm your host for the show, and I just want to give a shout out to Revolution Radio and at freedomslips.com. Again, we are listener supported, so please give us a donation. We thank you for it because we're having a great time here. Getting the we're having a good time.
I'm having a great time.
Yeah.
And shouts out to Mike's Hard Lemonade. You're hard.
No, we're not. Mike's Hard Lemonade. Stop it. Yeah. I'm with Travis John, who is the CEO, the chief executive.
It sounds better when you say it out. CEO doesn't sound as good as
Chief Executive Officer. I mean, he's the big cheese of his own .com record labels, which is like DOTCOM.
Records.
And how come that hadn't been taken up before? I can't believe that.
It was waiting for me.
It was.
Yeah, well, see, what had happened was, about 10 years ago, my friends, because I've traveled a lot of places, in sales and stuff, and, I like to give my 2 cents. So my friends, who, big shout out to Aunt, we were out one night, and I was talking about some travels I'd done, and they're like, man, you've been everywhere, man, you're like .com. And it just stuck. So, like, and I just started my record label, like, about 2 years ago, so, this was way before that. And, big shouts out to them because it just stuck, and, like, I like to feel like I'm the type of person where my friends can come to. I've been through a lot. I'm not saying I make the best choices all the time. But,
excuse me.
But I like to have fun, and I like to live life, and I think that's what life's about, being free, and you know what I mean, and living, So, .com stuck, and then I was in Hawaii, and I was, it all really started because I wanted to protect my beats. I made my own beats, and so I wouldn't want anybody to steal them because I was worried about that, because you hear things in the industry,
Uh-huh.
like this is what happens and people will do this to you. So I'm like, I'm smart, I grew up in corporate America, so that, and shouts out to corporate America a little bit for the fact of they taught me how to be a businessman.
Right.
And
Okay. I mean, yeah.
when it comes to the industry, if you're, when I was in LA, that's what they told me. You have to be a businessman as much as you are an artist.
Yes.
And that's the way you make it nowadays, which is great for me because I have a lot of experience in that. But at the same time, that's how .com started. And then I went to a lawyer because I'm smart. Like, I'm not just gonna go out there and be like, credentials mean a big thing too. You learn that in corporate America. Without your card that says you are a specialist, it doesn't matter, right? So,
Yeah.
so I started my own record label, and in some reason, somehow, some way, the moon, the stars, and the sun aligned, and .com Records was available, and I'm so thankful for that, because there's a lot of fakers out there trying to be .com Records, and they can't because I own it. So that's what it really comes down to,
And
So-
wait, now where can our listeners find you at? I mean, like where? I mean, because you're in Reverb Nation, and what is? That's like, yeah.
Yeah, I'm on SoundCloud under .com Records, DOTCOM Records, Reverb Nation under .com Records.
I know.
Facebook.com
I've been
Records.
doing your videos. It's Reverb Nation /label/.com Records 33.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
And then the other one is SoundCloud.com/.com Records.
I love you for that. I really do, because I'm horrible at that. I have these people that they're supposed to put all this together, and you're amazing. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Because I was supposed to do that research, but we were up late making the amazing theme song, which turned out beautifully, I think.
Yeah.
I'm so amazed that you're amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Just so you know.
You're amazing too.
Thank you.
We think each other's amazing.
Yeah, so just take our word for it and donate.
We're very impressed with each other right now.
Yeah. We're on the impression that we're impressed. I just imprinted on myself. Twilight. That was a Twilight. Oh, I hope. Can we take that out? Shouts out to Twilight. I go Edward. I'm a vampire.
No, stop it. Yeah, well, let's go there a little bit though for a second, because one thing that I like about Travis, and you meet a lot of people. I collaborate quite a bit with different comics and groups and entertainers and musicians, and I feel really gifted that I do know a lot of really talented artists, from comedians to musicians to painters. I mean, artists, poetry people. I mean, you name it. I've just been able to be around it, work on different projects with different people, and I feel blessed that way. And that's like Travis is here today. I'm working on getting some of those people to come on the show. The artists that are awakened to stuff, that they actually stand up to the mic and say, I've got something to say, and this is the way that I'm gonna get this out here, and hopefully it does some good. I mean, I always think that, if you go back to the history of time, even religion was born out of the Greek dramas and the oracle and the speaking, and that's how people got inspired. Well, I'm not saying religion's a whole other conversation, but I mean, if you're, but that was the vehicle in which, they were being social engineered by the Greeks. Let's talk about Oedipus Rex right now. But, there's so much symbology. I mean, I even use it as a reference, in one of my stand-up. Well, a little bit of what I was talking about on the I didn't say it on the rap on the song, but there's that part where women taking our power back. It's like the fact that there's been acts of terrorism for the promise of 72 virgins, and I was like, wow. I mean, are people that dumb? I mean, guys are that oh, I'm gonna get 72 virgins, I'm gonna go blow up something. It's like, well, what is the rationale in that? And and I say, as women, let's not let's not hang out with the guys from Wall Street and go, hey, take me to all these, like because there was a play called Lysistrata that there was a Greek philosopher, and he was also wrote one of the very first comedies called Lysistrata, and it was a comedy, but in the play, like, all of the women stopped having sex with the generals to end the war. And that's when I say, like, as women, if we could do our own version of that. Like, if he works at Lehman Brothers, Bank of America.
No, that does
or
work.
Goldman Sachs.
When I don't get none, I'm not very happy.
Don't give him none.
I'm not very happy.
Like, cut him off.
I'm making a
cut
hate
those,
song.
Cut those greedy guys off. I mean, I'm joking about it, but then, in some ways, the point is that, if the feminine energy, if women encompass that kind of power, that apparently it's going to take negative actions, and you're exploited for those negative actions, then let's it's tongue in cheek, but let's go, no, you know what, behave yourself, because if you don't, you ain't ever gonna get any of this.
Right.
I mean, like, you're, if that's your motivation to do stuff, then let me motivate you to do something good in the world.
Yeah, that's the triangle I throw up. To touch on that, it's kind of, I'm sure, and I don't have anything against religion, and I'm not going to get into religion very big, but one thing I do believe in is, people use things, history, the people who write history are the winners. If you won the war, you write the history. The losers don't get to write the history because you don't get the books, because the winners take them. Mm-hmm. So it's, nothing against the Bible or anything like this, but look at the Adam and Eve story. Okay, so Eve ate the apple with the snake and all that. So that takes away power from women, right? So as a man, if I want to take the power away from women, then women didn't get a vote till, I'm sorry, I don't know what year it is, but, they didn't get a vote to a certain year. Well, think about it, though. You go all the way back.
We were the last, I think, to be able to vote.
Right.
Which I find, I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit offended by that.
I'm not,
Very
but I'm a man,
offended.
so it makes sense.
Very offended. I'm a little bit offended
Yeah.
it took so long for us to be able to vote.
And I voted for
women's
that.
suffrage.
I'm a vampire, so I've been
You're a vampire. He's not a vampire.
So
he fantasizes he's a vampire.
I got on that
You live in
Vampire
the
Diaries.
Northwest with all the trees around there,
Yeah.
but I'm a vampire.
Hey, they filmed that show at my high school that I got kicked out of.
Okay.
But anyway, so.
Well, you were an extra on that too.
No, I wasn't. I was there. That's where I used to slang my, whatever.
Yeah.
So that was a long time
When
ago.
you were a bad boy.
I was a bad boy.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
bad boy for life. Okay, so anyway, so Adam and Eve, right? So if you want to control women, why wouldn't you make up a story where they ate the apple and now sin is all because of women? Like, I'm just saying, like.
Well, they did do that.
Yeah.
Why did they do that?
Why do they do that? Because
Like,
power.
it's Eve that said, "You go ahead and eat the apple."
Well, but my whole thing is, even if she did eat the apple, why did you eat the apple? So she's that good? She talked you into it?
Is it?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't feel like, I would be like, you ate the apple and this is what happened? I'm like, I don't want to eat that apple.
Right.
Like, I have my own mind, you know what I'm saying? I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to go over here and eat
That's
these
a bad
apples.
apple.
You know what I mean? Or fruit. It's actually a fruit. It's not the apple. But shouts out to Apple
Well,
Max.
it's, let's think about the apple and what it symbolizes. There's Apple computers.
Look at my apple. And what does that have bitten out of it? A piece of the apple.
That's right.
Ooh, do that math. You know what I'm saying? Keep it juicy.
Oh my god. All right, and just also think about it. There's also Disney. We're talking Snow White. The apple is symbolic in Snow White.
Right, and the witch
she
gave it
eats
to
the
her.
poison apple, and then of course the prince has to come and kiss her to get her out of it.
Hey.
Well, but there's the prince thing that goes on too. That the whole, there's a monarchy theme
Right.
in our cartoons. Like, oh, it's like as if a prince is ever gonna be with a commoner. Well, they might, but they're not gonna marry him.
I was a prince once upon a day, and you know what I mean? I love commoners.
You do? Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a prince. What are you a prince of, Travis?
.com records.
So we're talking about like the woman and the mystique. I want to kind of like bring it back to talking about you a little bit, and one of the things that I like about Travis that I felt connected to was that you seem to have a spiritual, or I don't know, sometimes I feel like when you say, it's like saying the word Illuminati, it goes spiritual. He has a spiritual essence, about him, but I could tell that we were kind of maybe on the same. But just by some of the things that you said and the way you were, that we were kind of like on the same page and stuff. And he talked about you have a shaman.
Yes.
Yeah, and you say you're a shaman.
He told me I was a shaman.
He told you were
There's
a shaman.
shaman in my, I'm Irish, German, Indian.
Uh-huh.
So I'm Mohawk Indian, and my grandma was a medicine woman, and in my lineage, I think is the right word. I'm not big, I don't have GD or anything, but in my lineage, there's shaman blood. So I met this guy, Jeremy White, who is from Britain, but he's North Irish, and I'm Irish, and I met him in the mall because my family owns Hawaiian Vapors. Again, shout out to Hawaiian Vapors for all your vaping needs, and in the Vancouver Mall, holla. But so we met, and
Holla.
and it's one of those things. I've been spiritual my whole life, and when someone makes it make sense, like psychics and stuff. Nothing against psychics or anything like that.
I have nothing against psychics.
My mom's gone to him and told her what's gonna happen, and the
yeah.
stuff did. But I'm more like on a different level, like journeys and stuff like that. So, and I met him, and he's an amazing person. He's actually going to Glassbury right now. He does readings there. It's so amazing, and he'll like have runes is what they use. It's Celtic and Viking and all that. And then his wife, I got my girlfriend and my mom a purse that was handmade. It's just beautiful. It's a very spiritual thing. Like I have nothing against anybody's religion. I think, and if you are spiritual or religious, like that's your goal. Like it's in yourself. You need to figure out who you are before you can help anyone else. You have to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And that's the journey that you're on in life, and that's really what I believe in. And like, I instill that in everything I do, in my music and everything. It's just like, okay, there was Woodstock and that was about love, but there was a lot of drugs involved. You know what I mean? So it's like mine's more, it's just like back to Michael Jackson. I will always bring up Michael Jackson because he loved the world and his childhood was taken away, and I grew up really fast. My life story is quite good. I'm waiting for the book to come out here in 20 years probably. But it's like we went through a lot, and I'm the youngest of 5, but I have 6 brothers and 1 sister because my dad had kids, my mom had kids, and they're all half brothers, half sisters, and it's just crazy. And I grew up, I was lucky enough to have a mom that let me believe what I wanted to believe. I was never put in church because my mom or dad or whatever put me there. And I believe that every individual needs to make that own choice for themselves. I mean, I went to the ones where they could touch your head and you fall down, and my mom was like, "We gotta go."
Oh yeah, I went to with my mom too. Yeah. My mom and I, because there's a time where my mom and I were like going to like different, because my father was Catholic and my mom was Protestant. And then, but we ended up like, there's a period of time where we went to like Baptist and this and that, and then one time my mom was dating this guy that like went to like the Pentecostal church, and my mom had like the shag haircut, and we both had like, I think I was like 12 at the time, so I got to wear a little bit of makeup, and I had like a shorter skirt on, and they're like, "You mustn't cut your hair, and don't wear any makeup, and your dress is not supposed to be past your knees," and like my mom and I just kind of looked at each other and went, "Oops."
Hey.
I can't hang here. I'm telling you something. I am not going to be involved in any religion where I have to wear yucky clothes. All right.
For
if it
real,
doesn't,
right?
I mean, I'd rather wear. I got stylish thrift store clothes. Let me tell you, I dress well for no money. With style, because style isn't really about money. Style is like how you put it together.
Exactly.
Right.
I grew up on thrift centers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Macklemore was right. Northwest, like you know what I mean? I got some real nice stuff. And
well, a friend of mine, I want to give a shout out to Rick Overton, who I hope to have on the show. A wonderful comedian and was a mentor to me. And he always says, he goes, artists make broke look sexy.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually gave me the Freedom of Joyce title.
Oh.
So there's
I
a
wanna
shout
meet
out.
this guy.
You didn't want to meet him.
Yeah.
He's the Drake. Actually, Rick Overton was the Drake on Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
I thought
the
you meant
Drake.
like Drake, like.
No, he's really the Drake. He's the guy who played the Drake.
That is
Yeah.
dope.
As a matter of fact, one time I never really saw that episode, but there was a he was on a show that I did at the Ice House. And it was a marijuana themed show, actually, because I'm an activist for a legalization of cannabis. That's how I got into my own awakening, and how I
Getting
started
blunted.
to. I was getting. I got blunted by the Kush family here at .com Records. That's a whole nother story. My dad called me up and goes, "Jerry, I'm gonna call your mother. That's disgusting. I need to give you an intervention." I'm
We
like,
didn't bite the apple, Dad or Mom.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, but I don't want to go there right now. Where was I? Yeah,
Can you
distracted
rewind
me-
the-
you distracted me
Can
with
you
the
rewind
plane.
the track, Caterpillar? Rewind the track. Ice House.
I was at the Ice House, and my brother, came to that show, and my brother goes, "Gotta love the Drake," and I go, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "He's the Drake," and I go, "Oh," so I had to Google him and find out what was going on, but
Thank you, Google.
Rick is one of those people, and hopefully, I'd love to have him talk about this, where he had an HBO special. And his career, like as a stand-up, was really popping. He's like going from one thing to the next thing, and he was in the movie Willow.
I love that movie.
Okay, you know who he is? Okay, you know like Kevin Pollak and those two little guys that ran around. He's
Kevin
the taller.
Pollak was
He's
that?
the taller guy of
the dwarfs.
Yeah, those little teeny people, but he is really tall. He's like 6'4".
I want to meet Willow.
But
Is
like
he
they
still
made him the
alive?
tiny guys that ran around in Willow. Yeah, that's Rick Overton when he was
That
young.
was a really good
Yeah.
movie.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
but he's told me that he
Shouts
felt
out to Willow.
that he felt that his career was somehow
Warwick Davis.
could have been like they kind of closed him down because he was talking about things on a certain level or political level at a time where I think the mainstream media didn't want people to be exposed to these kind of thoughts or information. Like for example, let's talk about. I wanted to give a shout out to Bill Hicks. I know he's not like alive anymore, and again, like a lot of people feel that Bill Hicks was given cancer. I mean, there's that theory, like
It's like Bill Cooper.
yeah, I mean, it's like, hey, you're talking about some stuff that we don't want you to be talking about at this time. And a friend of mine, worked over in England, and he said, what's interesting? He goes, and this is like right away, like after he had pretty much passed away. In England, they automatically would ask him, as being an American comic, he goes, "Oh, do you think they killed him? Do you think they killed him?"
Yeah.
And at the time, like I was doing stand-up comedy then, and I knew Bill Hicks. I was watching like some of the stuff. It wasn't really getting like I think now I watch Bill Hicks and I go, oh my God, now I really get what he's talking about. This is like really brilliant. But I remember when he passed. Yeah, he was only 33 years old. Yeah.
33.
Oh,
stop it.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
THCF Medical Clinics are the premier physicians clinic in the United States. THCF has offices all across the United States from Hawaii to Michigan. THCF Medical Clinics has helped approximately 150,000 patients obtain their medical marijuana permits to legally possess, grow, and use medical marijuana. If you have chronic pain, multiple sclerosis, or any other neurological degenerative disease, or if you have any gastrointestinal disorders such as GERD, irritable bowel syndrome, syndrome, or if you have AIDS, cancer, spastic disorders, seizure disorders, or glaucoma, call us at 1-800-723-0188 or visit us online at hemp.org. Again, the number is 1-800-723-0188 and the site is hemp.org.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax and burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Education and information. See what all the buzz is all about. It's time for hemp. It's time for hemp.
So now, I want to go a little bit back to your shaman.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know I'm not going to get off the shaman subject matter yet. So you have like some runes like you wear around your neck, and then you've got this one rune right here that has like a little.
It's the white wolf, yeah.
What does that symbolize?
The white wolf symbolizes independence. The other runes that I have are for medicine man and shaman, because when you go into a store, like he will have you pick up a hand of runes, and you drop the runes, and one rune will stay in your hand. It's weird because I don't know if it's like psyche, because he didn't tell me that. He was just like, pick up a hand of runes and drop them, and then like one stood in my hand, and I was like, what the heck? And he's like, yeah, that's the rune, and he'll do a reading off that. He actually gave me a real reading as well, and it was spot on. He actually saved my mom's life, to be honest. Mm-hmm. My mom had a crown, and it fell out, and this goes right with freedom and everything. Is my mom's 69 years old, so like, she's on Medicare, Medicaid, whatever that is, Social Security, all that kind of stuff, and so they only give you so many benefits. Like, and I know for a fact because I had to call for her, because that's what I do for my mom. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot easier, because they're not used to the internet and used to all that. Although, I mean, she's really good at Facebook and, slotomania. But, when it comes to that kind of stuff, so I figured it out. So she went to the local clinic, and they did x-rays, and then they were like, I don't know what that is. I'm not going to touch it. And they put the temporary stuff on there. And I went to my shaman friend, and I was like, he did that reading. It was my first reading, and he was like, "Is there something wrong with your mom, or is there an older lady in your life?" And I was like, "Yeah, my mom." And told about the dentist, and the rune he gave me was to put around her neck, and anything that wasn't supposed to be in her body would come out. That same night, the temporary crown that they put back on, even though they didn't want to because of the X-rays, fell out, and she went to Mexico because it's cheaper there, you know what I mean, for dentists, and they still have dentists that are from like LA or whatever, and they told her, like, if you wouldn't have came now, you would have lost all your teeth and all this kind of stuff. So, and or worst case, even worse than that, it would have gave a blood clot in your heart and you would have died. So to me, he saved her life. You know what I mean? Like, my mom still wears that rune around her neck today, and that's just my own belief in what I believe in. You know what I mean? I'm Irish, German, Indian. Like, I'm Celtic. You know, that whole thing of Odin and all that kind of stuff. It makes sense, you know, with all that kind of stuff. But that's my own belief. I'm not gonna like push it on people, but I can give my testimony, and that's what I believe that everything is. It's your testimony. The only thing that you can give to people is testimony. You can't tell them what to believe or what to do, but you can give your testimony.
Yeah.
And that goes back to the Second Amendment.
Yeah,
Right?
it does.
It's in the song.
It's in the song.
It's in the song. If you didn't hear it, it's in the song.
Welcome back to Freedom of Joyce. I'm Terry Joyce, your host. Travis just blew from the Hawaiian Vapors. He just blew vapor.
I got the vapors.
I have the vapors. I caught the vapors. I'm here with Travis John, the Chief Executive Officer, the Big Cheese CEO of .com Records.
On that note, let me get this out because I'm not good with this Twitter stuff.
Okay.
So my Twitter is DOT_.
Underscore.
COM.
Underscore.
CE.
I'm on Facebook too. I'm on Facebook. There's even a Freedom of Joyce Facebook page. So.
And if you don't like it, you ain't right.
Yeah, if you don't like it, you ain't right. Now that we're down to our last 25 minutes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but I do love your standing ovation that they play.
I do. And
every time. I love it.
Yeah.
And here comes your host. And I love it. I love it. You deserve it. It's so amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Now, what I live in the break is like some big ass fries.
I know. I was wondering what I can say on here, but I know I can say big ass fries. My kids need to eat. Here's some big ass fries.
There's nothing in your bank account.
Here's some big ass fries.
Hey, I've been there. I've been to McDonald's before, and they go, "You don't have enough for this." I'm like,
My last name's. Never mind. I can't even get big ass fries.
Travis doesn't want to give his last name. Joyce is not my real last name either.
Is it not? No, oh, that's right. It's your dad's.
Yeah. No, it's my mom's first name.
Oh.
Yeah. I love it. My parents are divorced, and people go, "Hey, Mr. Joyce, nice to meet you." I'm like, it must really suck to be called by your ex-wife's first name.
Oh, yeah. Hey, bite the apple.
Yeah. He has to bite the apple every time on that one. Where do you see .com Records going, and what are let's talk about some of your artists that you have on the label.
Yes.
What is your vision for the future for .com Records too, as well?
Well, I want to give a big shout out to my artists, JPM, Raz. They're both in Hawaii. I have Sasquatch, who just got done with his mixtape that Caterpillar Face put together as well. Big shout out to him. He's actually filming this right now. Marjan and Jane, who, if you go in, on YouTube and look, you can meet them as well, because we did film the whole back. The green room.
We did. We did a show, a .com Records show with Wu-Tang, the new generation Wu-Tang, and the Kush family, on December 5th, and I got to do stand-up,
it was amazing.
Which is really good. And I also do another show. I want to give a shout-out to the Time for Hemp Network. That's Time number 4 hemp.com. I've been broadcasting there 5 nights a week for to spread the wonders of hemp throughout the universe. I'm sure the universe already knows, but apparently the world's having issues with it. Casper Leach was a founder of that. I did a show, and then I did interviews in the green room backstage with your artists, and I was really impressed with them. They're young. Some of them were just 20, and performing, and they were very what I would say. One of them touched me. I think it might have been Marshawn. I mean, not touch me, but I mean, in my heart, touch me.
Yeah, not like Madonna.
Not like Madonna. But basically saying that we're here to raise the vibration of love, and that love is the key, and that was what it was all about. And I wow, that is a really inspirational thing to hear. When again you have the other type of music that is done by the powers that be that shouldn't be really in power, right. Cranking out these poor Disney kids that are probably under MK Ultra mind control. I mean, like when
Britney, Christina, Justin,
right? I mean, when I saw Miley Cyrus come out, when she was doing the whole twerking thing and dressed in the panda bear outfit and the whole tongue thing, I was like, oh my God, something's not right.
And she
here.
cut her hair. Miley, you grow it back.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just, and then people just made so much fun of her, and I go, God, just, don't you understand what's happening? Like, why is everybody, it caused such controversy, because that's what they wanted you to do. They want you to pay attention to that kind of stuff. But it was like, this is this little girl that has pretty much, grown up in this kind of thing, and so it's great to see that artists have a place to go to and be under a label that's not going to do those kind of things to them.
Right.
And they're going to actually be able to
I won't Taylor Swift you.
Yeah, okay. create music that can maybe raise the vibration of how people.
And they are very powerful in their words. I mean, their music is amazing, and I'm so blessed to have these people around me. I mean, shout out to Jay Peach and No Class and Lindsay, aka Lindsay.
Weebles.
Pete, was it?
Weebles,
aka Weebles. I have these amazing people. Big shout out to my nephew, Stephen Berry. I'm so blessed to have these musical people around me, and we don't, like you said, changing the vibration. That's what we're about. You know what I mean? We're not trying to take down the government or do this or do that. You know what I mean? But we're going to speak on it, on how we feel about it and what it is. You know what I mean? I write songs about love and hurt and government and everything that's around me, everything I've been through in my life, and that's what music does. And what that vibration does is it touches other people and makes them not want to, you know what I mean? Like I said, Seattle's was the capital of suicide. If I could touch 10 people and they decide not to commit suicide because they heard my song that day, then I accomplished what I'm trying to do. As an artist, I believe that it's not about me, it's about the world, and what you're trying to do is give your word to the world so that it can help them. You know what I mean? It's revolutionary. You know what I'm saying? It's about that. You know what I mean? It's about freedom and giving it to other people, empowering themselves. Because you can't expect what you have for everyone. Some people were raised differently. Some people were raised in suburbia. You know what I mean? I'm from my own town's hood. You know what I'm saying? But I made it out. Like, I'm an inspiration to even just the people in my town because I'm on this show with you. Like, they're listening to the show right now going, wow, he made it. Now, am I getting millions of dollars today? No, but it doesn't, that's a mind trick to me anyway. You know what I mean? But for them to feel that they can live their dreams through me, that's what I do this for. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, I only want blue M&Ms with .com records on it. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'll take red M&Ms too, M&Ms. But you know what I mean? It gets ridiculous like that. And I just feel that I'm not that person, and I can show people that they don't have to be that person, but they still can be. It's like celebrities that don't want to be a role model. I don't want to be a role model. Well, then you shouldn't be what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Go work at the post office or something. You know what I'm saying? You're in the world's eyes. And I feel like there's a responsibility that comes with that. Everybody, like I said, makes mistakes, and everybody has pros and cons. But at the same time, it's like, if you're gonna be in the world's eye, then give them something to believe in. Give them something that, like John Lennon, like you know what I mean. I like the Beatles, but I love John Lennon.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? Like Imagine, that song to me touches my heart every time.
Mine too.
You know,
Yeah.
And that's what I believe. You know what I mean? Imagine dreams can come true. Don't let all this other stuff get in the way. Whether it's religion, whether it's politics, whether it's this or that, or you know, stupid little arguments or whatever. You know, there's a huge goal in your life, and that's what your goal is to do, is to reach that. You know what I mean? Everybody walks a certain path. And my path's gonna be different than yours, but that doesn't mean we can't walk the path together. But it's still two different paths.
Yeah, yeah. I wow, that's well stated. I love that. I love the fact that that's gonna go on it's gonna be archived. I'm going to listen to that again.
Me too. 'Cause I love to hear you talk.
And I love talking, actually. I love to hear you talk too.
Yeah. Well, your profession wouldn't really work out if you didn't.
Right. It's like, I'm a comic, but I don't like to really speak much.
I'm just gonna stand here.
I'm gonna stand here and just let you watch me for a while and take a paycheck.
I'm gonna put my YouTube video on in the background and just say, watch this.
This is what I did when I was talking.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? Bite the apple.
Bite the apple. I said bite it.
Yeah. Big ass fries.
I want a little sip of your Frank's lemonade there. Just for I gotta wet my palate. Do you mind?
No, wet your palate, please.
Okay,
Because Mike's hard lemonade is hard.
Okay, so what? The way you have the hard art on that hard. All right. So now you put on a show that had comedy, and there was another band too that was kind
Positive Vibration. Shout out to them. They're a reggae band out of Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I'm big on the reggae. I'm big on the Hawaiian music. I grew up there, so it's a beautiful, beautiful music. You know, people spend their whole life savings to go there, and I was fortunate enough to live there for 20 years off and on. So I've met a lot of bands. This is where I started my record label, was in Hawaii, and Positive Vibrance threw on a show, and me and my nephew Stephen Barry, we performed with the band, and it was the time of my life. And the great thing was the comics, and shout out to Rico Starr, Kevin Korn, North Flat was there too. North
Flat, actually.
North Flat.
Yeah.
But you know, it was a great time. You know, I mean, we had Russians trying to kick us out. It was crazy. You gotta watch the show. But
we had Russians who tried to. Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, we were.
Well, I've got that on the Hollywood Hemp stream.
We got KGB.
I had to do the last 20 minutes in my car.
They don't KGB the Irish, but so. So it was. They had a poker game with all these men on the side. I'm like, oh, that doesn't really look legal, but whatever. Yeah. Just scamming.
You know, it's show business. You know, how many times have we performed for gangsters since the beginning of time? You know, there's always you go back to, well, I mean, like even the Comedy Store with Ciro's. I mean, there's always been this sort of relationship between
Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. To it's like, oh, I hope I escape without getting a bullet shot at me, kind of feeling.
Yeah, that was my childhood. We didn't talk about that, but that's what that was. Yeah.
So, but are you seeing a vision of doing live shows with like a package of variety? Like
yes,
and you got some comedy in there. You got some rappers and you got like.
We drifted off earlier, but because you asked me what the future of .com Records is, and the future of .com Records is what we're doing now. Like I would love to see. Doing comedy and hip hop, and to touch on hip hop and rap and gangster rap is totally different. To me, hip hop is more poetry. And see, back in the day, hip hop was actually about communities and helping each other. And they brought in, the gangster rap to kind of throw people off that because it's giving that vibration of goodness and things like that. And the 1%ers don't want to see that because it's divide and conquer. So when we start to come together, they don't want to see that. So, but for the future of .com Records, for what I'm planning is like .com Records, Terry Joyce, you know what I'm saying, Revolution Radio, Hollywood Hempsters, like going worldwide. You know what I mean? Like going to other countries. That's what I love to do. So donate. And going out there and just giving these people a show and letting them know that the world can be won. You know what I mean? And who doesn't like to laugh and then sing and cry and be happy? You know what I mean? Because that's what music does. Comedy makes you laugh, and music can make you cry and hopefully not laugh. I don't know. Well, you do have like Weird Al Yankovic. I guess that could make me laugh. But
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it makes you feel life is okay. You know what I mean? And that's what I love about comedy. I'm a huge comedy fan. And that's what comedy does for me, is it makes me laugh and makes me feel like life isn't so hard. And music does the same thing. Is it there's songs that I'll hear, even of my own, and that's the great thing about doing music, is I'll listen to a song I did when I first started doing music, and it'll make you cry because you remember that time and date because you were there. You know what I mean? And yeah, so the future of .com Records the future is definitely coming, hopefully soon.
You are listening to the Time for Hemp Global Broadcasting Network. Please share us with your friends.
If you are in the Portland, Oregon area and are an OMMP card holder, then come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market, Portland, Oregon's first and only weekly OMMP market, presented by the Alternative Wellness Center, located at 5241 Southeast 72nd Avenue, 2 blocks south of Foster Boulevard, close to public transportation, held every Sunday 10 a.m. till 7 p.m., connecting quality vendors with patients. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market also has a weekly raffle with products from every vendor, so come down to Nikki's Diggity Dank Market and have fun while connecting with quality vendors and getting great natural medicine. If you are a vendor and want a chance to connect with OMMP patients, you can check out their Facebook page at facebook.com/Alternative Wellness Center or call 971-888-4392. Be sure to register early because space is limited. Nikki's Diggity Dank Market.
In need of a ganja vacation? Blaze away.
Don't criticize it.
Hotbox Jamaica. Chill.
Legalize it, yeah.
Relax. And burn all day while watching the amazing ocean view. Listen to the birds. Bathe in the mineral waters of the Ganja River. Munch on tasty Jamaican Rasta food. Take a weed farm tour and hold a meditation. Book this amazing vacation for $420. Get the Sativa Special. 7 nights in Sativa dorms with ganja meals and airport transfer. Check us out at hotboxjamaica.com. That's hotboxjamaica.com. Hotbox Jamaica, a higher meditation vacation.
Indigrow is your source for affordable induction grow lighting. First discovered in 1891 by Nikola Tesla, Indigrow lights deliver 11 years of electronic sunlight to your plants. Indigrow lamps require less than half the power of traditional HID lamps. Converting to Indigrow lights means you'll cut down on your power bill with less lighting. Indigrow lamps also use 5 times less mercury than traditional fluorescent or HID lamps, making Indigrow not only energy efficient but environmentally friendly as well. No more switching out lamps between vegetative and flowering stages. As nature intended, your lights get a steady dose of UV light. That makes your plants grow healthier and stronger. Indigrow products are manufactured in San Diego, California, and come with a written 10-year warranty. What Tesla knew, then growers know now, is that Indigrow lighting is the cost-effective addition to your victory garden. To learn more or order now, go to inda-grow.com. That's INDA-GRO.com, or call 877-452-2244 to answer any of your questions. These guys really know lights. Indigrow really is your sunlight in a box.
Free? Did you say free? Free hemp? Free hemp? Free hemp video and audio? Free downloads of all the top artists, all the pot artists on planet Earth. Interviews with all the people making the movement, making the hemp movement. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp. That's right, world. It's time for hemp.
Is these artists that I have, I'm very particular about the people that I put around me because I'm so about positive energy. I don't want people to be negative towards each other and all that because I'll just let them go because one bad apple can spoil the whole crew. So, even no matter how much you bite it, if it's bad, it's bad. And that's what I do. I build a team around me that, just like the president does with the cabinet. You build a team around you, and we're going to go far. And luckily, I got to meet Terry Joyce through all this, and I believe that this is going to be an amazing thing, and we're going to go worldwide and show the world, kind of like go back to Michael Jackson, show the world that, remember the time when we first met, remember the time, you know what I'm saying? Like
Eddie Murphy?
Yeah. It don't matter if you're black or white. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and I appreciate all the, everything is a blessing, and everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, well, I think we've only known each other for 6 weeks or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now it passed.
22 hours and 12 minutes.
I already stayed over. His mom made me some coffee this morning.
Shouts out to my mom.
Shout out to Travis's mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting how everything kind of manifested, and then Revolution Radio happened. And when I was doing your show on December 5th, I had no idea that I would be here on this network interviewing you, talking about, and had already done a song, doing that opening. Like, it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, and this is my first interview that I finally got to tell my story, and I appreciate it so much from you and from Revolution Radio. Like, this to me is like my dream come true. To be able to sit here and be myself, because that's one thing I am. I can't be nobody else. This is no character. I'm really this nuts in the head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, some people might say, no, you're this or that. No, I'm nuts. You know what I mean? Because of what I've been through and what I've done, and it's so nice to be able to just speak my mind on a radio show that's about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I've been about. I've never settled. I've never, stayed in anything that didn't make me happy, because I don't believe that that's what life's about. You take care of your responsibilities, but you still need to take care of yourself. In order to love somebody else, or in order to take care of somebody else. So, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. And, this has been a joy for me, and I'm really grateful how we, actually pulled it to, got that song done, last night.
Yeah.
Literally, we finished, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, then my mom wakes me up. T-minus 30 minutes till your show. And I was like, thanks, Mom. Meatloaf! Mom, I want the meatloaf! I did hear Will Ferrell earlier on the commercial, so I'm going to give a shout out to Will Ferrell. Meatloaf!
I love that movie.
Yeah, me too.
The Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. I that's one of my favorites.
Hashtag that.
Hashtag Mom! Meatloaf! No, I got up, I was kind of getting...
We shouldn't say it too loud, because she'll probably start making meatloaf.
But there's a point where, I woke up, and and then I was like, half an hour, and I asked her, I said, well, how much time does Travis need to get ready to get here? She goes, I'll go get him.
Yeah, she's a G.
So it's good to have a family that supports you and really wants to see you make it.
Yeah, we go garage selling together. That's why I got my panther right here. You can't see it, but you know what I'm saying. I got a black panther that is a glass table. Her name is Jazz, and she's amazing.
Jazz. I didn't know she had her name was Jazz.
Yeah, it's got a collar and everything.
Yeah, I know. The panther. Actually, there's one because I believe I'm kind of like I'm a little bit of a witch, I think, and so I was like I go in Adriana was Travis's girlfriend was saying that oh yeah, the panther, like Travis isn't a panther, and then somebody said they slept with the panther. They go, the panther changed their life when they slept with the panther. And then I was over here. I was going, I'm gonna stay here and sleep with the panther. And I really seriously, I lie down next next to the Panther and slept for
It's life changing.
Yeah, and then.
And if you put a big enough donation to Revolution Radio, you can sleep next to the Panther. I'm putting that out there. He's got to have a comment in it though.
So, let's plug one more time our stuff. Just so that people who knows, they maybe just came on right now. I'll do it for him. It's he's at ReverbNation/label/.com Records 33. That's one, and the other one is SoundClouds.com/.com Records. And you can find in his thank you for Twitter. And his Twitter is _com. Underscore. There's no dot there. Wait, I got to do that again. DOT_com _CEO, and you know what that means.
You know what that means.
Yeah.
Chief Executive Officer.
Officer on his Facebook.
_com_CEO.
Yeah. Dot. And thank you for introducing me to your shaman too as well.
Yeah. Shouts out to Jeremy White.
Yeah. Shout out to Jeremy White, because so
he's revolutionary.
He is. He's revolutionary. So now I heard that you want to take this. Worldwide. That
yes.
That we're wanting to maybe do we're talking about maybe going to Italy.
Drink some wine.
And doing just going global with maybe a package of
right.
entertainment under the .com record label.
Yes, that is definitely in the cards.
Definitely in the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We already signed up, right?
I'm on board.
Okay.
I'm definitely why not? I was wanting to
I think we owe it to them.
We owe it to people.
Yes.
We owe it to people.
Yeah, this is what we signed up for, so I think we owe it to them.
Right. To go out there and make it happen. And before we go, because I think we only have like 5 more minutes. I don't know if anybody, you can't see it, but on the filming you can actually see it. You've got something tattooed on your
Veritas.
Index finger on your right hand. You don't have any other. Well,
I have other tattoos.
You have another tattoo. You've got the
Playboy Bunny smoking a joint.
Yeah.
I got my daughter's name. This means wealth, and I got by faith.
Uh-huh.
But this Veritas means truth in Latin.
Yeah. So you're a messenger of the truth.
I believe so. I bit the apple. So I got the forbidden knowledge to tell the truth. Hashtag that.
Hashtag that. All right, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank Travis John for being here today. I'm Terry Joyce. You've been listening to Freedom of Joyce on Revolution Radio. Thank you for listening. Be here next week.
He says, you know what? If you legalize marijuana, you might as well just legalize crystal meth. And I'm like, oh my God. Okay, come on. You cannot compare pot smokers to tweakers. I mean, maybe they get their house cleaned up and shit, but whatever. Okay, good for you, all right? You know what, and I don't know, and I know, especially out here, I see the horrible tweaker signs. I mean, my God, and I know that happens. Because I lived with a tweaker before, and it's a nightmare. You turn on your remote control, and your fucking microwave goes off. You got things wired from here to here, there's a freaking paint stroke that's half done, fuck it, I lost my attention span, let's paint something else. Hey man, why don't you try it? You want to know why it's so great? Because Hitler made it, and that's how the Berlin Wall went up. I'm like, wow, what a selling point. You know what I mean? like the word, like, come on now, like, how is this even like, you're sitting there, I mean, I've done it before, so and it's like freaking Drano up here, and I'm God. But you know what? I think that the tweaker and the pot smoker can work together. Because the pot smoker will think up stuff and the tweaker will execute it. This is really how we create a perfect society. No, I'm kidding.